Welcome to the Z Files. You are Zooming with Ellie Crystal from crystallinks.com. And today I have a very special guest all the way coming from Japan. His name is Rae Chandran. He's a native of India and a Kundalini and Shaktipat, you'll have to explain that, teacher. He's the author of 11 books and travels worldwide to just about every country you can think of to teach and conduct workshops and show people how to heal and help themselves. Welcome, Rae.
Thank you, Ellie.
First thing I really wanted to ask you was how you found me.
During some of my most difficult time, around 25 years back, I was looking for answers to my life situation. And I was on the internet almost every day looking into different sites. Then I found your site around 2002 or 2003, around that time. And I fell in love with your site
Thank
because
you.
this is what I was looking for, to find answer and to get answers in my own life. And then what I found was an understanding which is of a esoteric nature, which was my favorite thing, not from a book. And what I thought you were bringing was not of this world, but from another reality. And I really resonated with that so much.
I think back in those years, we talked more about channeling, getting information, from entities. Like I talked to Z, who was a raster. That's why the Z files. And going back, yeah, it's been a long time. And I'd say millions of people who come through Crystal Links, which started in 1995. And sometimes they follow, sometimes they don't, sometimes they do the blogs. It all depends where your life takes you. Now, we did a reading a few days ago, and that's why we're doing this. But at the time you told me, before you came into finding yourself in the realms of healing, you were looking more to be a lawyer. You had come to the US.
Yes, in many ways, it was a dream when I was growing up in India to go to USA. For most people from India, their biggest dream is to go to US because we have heard that US is a place of opportunity, and if you are smart, you can do very well there. So I came looking for opportunities as an economic refugee, basically. Then I ended up staying there, and then I was going to school there, but I was also working and going to law school there, and I stayed in US for almost 12 years.
And you were in Brooklyn. Let's not leave that out.
Yes, I was based in Philadelphia, but I had come to Brooklyn, and I still come to Brooklyn sometime to do workshops there right now.
Okay, so as with everybody else who's watching, you're on the road to you don't know where. Maybe you're in university or college for anything. It could be law school, it could be business, it could be something other than the healing arts. And then what happens is one day, you call it by synchronicity, something happens in your life that changes your journey. We say from the left brain, which is, where your corporate, all of that, the logical side, to the right brain, and your heart just says, this is where you belong. So what happened in your case?
In 1992, I was in the University of Pennsylvania, and I went to attend a Buddhist meeting.
Mm-hmm.
The meeting had not started, so I was sitting down. The meeting was in upstairs hall, and a young lady came, and she went to the room, and the meeting was not open, so she came and sat in front of me, waiting for the meeting. I just looked at her, and I fell in love with her.
Oh, so it was the heart that opened in more ways than one.
But the most interesting thing was she was just visiting USA for 3 days, and we spent time together 3 days, and then she was coming back to Japan. Then she told me, if you love me, you will come to Japan. I left everything in US and I came to Japan after 28 days. But now I realize she was a catalyst contract in my life just to meet me, to bring me to Japan.
And then you started on your journey.
No, after coming to Japan, after 2 months, she said goodbye to me.
Okay. It was a
But then,
workshop fling. Okay.
but then what happened was I came back to States, but I felt very uncomfortable. So I went back to Japan.
Where you live now.
Yes, but then I had great challenges in Japan. I became nearly homeless. I had incredibly hard time, did not eat, can only eating maybe once a day. I ended up working in a restaurant washing dishes. And I was every day night I cry, what am I doing in Japan? I had a green card in America. Because that's a dream for many of the Indian people to have a green card, live in America. But my heart tells me, no, you don't belong in America, you belong in Japan. So I stayed in Japan and I became illegal. My visa ran out. Police caught me 3 times, but they let me go. And they let me go. Then eventually I found a job in a bar and I don't even drink alcohol. And they asked me to work as a bartender there. And I worked as a bartender there. And then they had a restaurant. And after a few months, I started working in the restaurant and the bar. And one day a lady came to the bar and she was the publisher of an English magazine in Japan called Tokyo Classified. It's a classified listing magazine. And the revenue used to come from only advertisements. And at the end of the magazine, they had the picture of all the staff working there, including her name. Her name was Mary Devlin from Ireland. So after serving her, I went and asked her, are you Mary Devlin? She said, yes. I said, please give me a job in your place. She said, why? I said, I'm very good. Please give me a chance. She was a little bit taken back, but next day she asked me to come to her office for an interview. And I went for the interview, and after talking for an hour and a half, she hired me for the job. And I started working in the advertising industry in Japan because I worked for almost 13 years there in the advertising department. But this company was a kind of unique company in terms of as long as you bring in sales, they really never cared what you did. So I spent most of my time on the internet looking, searching answers about God, universe, and my role and karma, everything. Through the support of the creator, I was doing very well in sales, so they never really bothered me. So I had enough time to do searching. This is what I almost 5 hours I used to be on the internet looking for different website, understanding ascended masters and this and that and thing. And slowly I grew out of that. And then in 1999, I was meditating. Then I heard a voice saying, are you ready to share what you have experienced so far? I said, I do not know, but I will share what I had experienced. And I started conversation with the God group in Japan in a bar because the bars are closed during daytime. They only open in the evening. Since I was in advertising field, I know many, many restaurants and bars. So I used to rent this place for $200. And since I was a classified listing magazine, I used to put ad free conversation with the God meeting. And a lot of people used to attend 40, 50, 60, but first time more than 100 people. I started sharing how my life changed when I completely surrendered to the great universe. And this is how I started my journey. And then in 2005, I invited some of the big names from USA to come to Japan. Crayon, Dr. Todd Avocatis, Pepper Louis, many, many people to come to Japan.
Channelers. These are channelers, right?
They're all channelers, and the workshop they came here. And I was the host for them. And then I met my wife in 2005 and we got married to her. And I started sharing this truth, what I experienced on the weekends and holidays. And then in the year 2010, my son was born. And by the time I had a daughter, but then one of my guides, Master Kuthumi, told me, guided me, it's time to leave the job. I said, why? I had a very hard time. Now I'm doing really well. He said, you are a good father, but you are not a good father. You are a good provider, but you are not there emotionally for your daughter. I was a very good provider because I had a good job and thing. So it was kind of difficult for me, but I meditated. Then I was shown some image of the past life where I had great courage in Greece as a warrior. When I was able to tap into that live stream, I had the courage and I resigned from my job in 2010. And I took care of my son who was just born, doing everything, changing diaper, changing everything, but still doing the work. And then I have been doing only this work from 2010 onwards, full time.
And okay, so now I thought you went directly from New York to this healing channeling work. So it
No,
took a few years. You had to do a little bit more left brain logical stuff, do the marriage, do the two children, start the journey.
and
And
also I felt that there was a lot of cleansing and healing to be done inside of me before I could move into that. But it was very interesting thing happened was I met a lady called Valerie, and she had an interview in the Philadelphia Times, Philadelphia Inquirer magazine, and she was a psychic. And then I had gone to see her, and then she told me, "What are you doing in the US? You belong to Japan." I said, "Oh, I will never go to Japan because the dream of Indian people is going to US. I have a green card." She said, "You will leave Japan." And then in 1992, I went to India and I met a wandering monk just wandering on the road. And he just called me and he said, "Okay, you are not in India right now, but the place where you are, you will leave." And he even gave me a date and he just went. It's exactly the same date. This happened in America. I met this lady and then I came to Japan. When I came to Japan first time, I felt that I belong here. My past roots were here. I felt very familiar with many places. Although I didn't speak Japanese language, it was challenging, but I never wanted to go. I still felt like very home in this country. Then I was a lot of challenges in terms of staying and food and money. It took almost 3 years of intense challenges. And every day, my only prayer that time to God was, I want to leave the planet. And
a
Ellie,
lot of
I went,
people have that now, a
I,
lot.
I went to kill myself twice. I went to jump in a river. A lady who was sitting there, she knew some pain and she held my hand. I did not jump in the river because I wanted to, it was so painful 3 years. Then one day I did not eat for almost 1.5 days and I was sitting. And one lady comes near me and she opens her bag and gives me some boiled egg and peanuts. I don't know why she was carrying that, but I said, "Thank you, God." And that time I said one thing. I said, if I'm able to get out of this most difficult time, I would be like that kind of person, an angel who just appears in somebody's life and gives them some food. And then one day I was walking, I was very, very tired. A taxi man, he just comes, stops the taxi, and he tells me, "Get inside the taxi." And he took me to a family restaurant called Jonathan, and he said, "Eat whatever you want." So all these incidents, I felt like I want to be like this kind of person who is constantly helping people without even asking their name and just move on. And this is what I do at this time. Although I work and I charge, but 50% I don't charge any money because I'm continuously sharing.
Right.
And my life experiences.
There's an expression, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear.
Yes.
And what you're talking about, and we read this so often with synchronicities, is you're wandering or you're standing on top of a mountain asking for guidance or whatever a person is doing who is lost. And we live in a lost generation, a lost reality. And people want this guidance. People want to know that something will be shown. There will definitely be another path shown other than the one they're on. And
Yes.
what I learned from reading, I don't know how many thousands of people, is that sometimes it's shown right away. Sometimes it may take a while. It may not be that day you come down from the mountain or you're wandering and you meet that teacher. It's because these are teachers, and you can call them masters or teachers, whatever, they are teachers, and you'll be shown immediately. It means they are your catalyst. I love the word
Exactly.
catalyst. They are
Exactly.
your catalyst who opens the doors, and I always see them as two doors that open, and
Exactly.
you go through, and then you're like the little child on the first day of school going, oh, where do I
Yeah.
go now? What am I going to learn and what am I going to teach?
That's what happened in 2002. I was in a bookstore, I picked up a second-hand book, and that book had an advertising for Sedona Journal magazine and Robert Shapiro's book. I got this book secondhand and I read the book. The book was so fascinating. It's called Shamanic Secrets for Physical Mastery. And this book was, it really touched me. I felt a very connection to Mother Earth and what he was saying. He's a channeler. I wrote to the publishing company, please give me his telephone number. But of course, they would not give me. But I kept on insisting and calling. So one day, some other staff picked up and he gave me his telephone number. And I called from Japan, Robert Shapiro. He was in Hawaii. It was 1:30 a.m. his time in the night. And he said he never answers phone that time, but that night he forgot to put the telephone answering machine. And I said, my name is Ray Chandran. I'm calling from Japan. Your book is very touching, very fascinating. Please teach me.
Yes, yes.
He was taken back.
Everybody has to have a teacher somewhere.
He was taken back and he channeled. He said, please wait. He channeled Isis for himself. Who is this guy, Ray? And then he agreed to teach me. So he was teaching me every weekend through telephone, 3 to 4 hours. And
See,
he
now we
gave me,
have Zoom. It's so much easier, you know?
yeah, and he gave me a big foundation in my life about my spirituality. I did not meet him till 2016 when I went to Hawaii to see him. So this was a major part of my life. He gave me a very good foundation. And then in 2007, I was carrying a photograph of Master Kutumi from almost 25 years, even from US. Always carried this photograph. I don't know why. And
Because
then,
Kuthumi is Z.
oh,
Master Kuthumi is Z. Been
yes,
verified
yes, exactly,
by
yes,
those who study.
yes, exactly, yes. And he's one of my most favorite guide. And I had a feeling that I need to study directly from him, not from any other earthly person. Then I met a lady from Australia and she said she will channel for me directly from this master and it will guide me. But after 2 sessions, she felt threatened by me. She stopped. I was kind of very sad and depressed. I every day communicate to Yahweh. I call God Yahweh. That's my way of expression to God, Yahweh.
A lot of people do.
Yeah, and I said Yahweh, and then Yahweh told me, "You will hear from Master Kutumi." And then in 3 weeks' time, I got a letter from a lady from London into my office email. And just starting the word was, this is Master Kutumi and Master Buddha and Commander Astar. We are your guides. We are using an old friend from Atlantis to come and speak to you. And gave me a message. And then, of course, I wrote back and then I communicated to this lady from London. She was just 20 years old ballerina.
Oh, okay.
And then she started guiding me through Master Kutumi, started guiding me through her for 3 years, and he gave me another good foundation. And that stopped on December 29th, 2010. So these two people, Natalie Glasson from London and Robert Shapiro from Hawaii, they were a big part of my life, who gave me a very good understanding, a spiritual base for me to start my own work.
And then you became someone who became a teacher to catalyze your students.
Yes, and many is now is exactly. I do that all the time. There are many people who like I have teachers and also facilitators, and we do healing on a daily basis. More than 200 people. We have people from India, and we get requests from many parts of the world for healing. And we just ask their name, the age, which country, and then we do healing. People in India regularly do healing for free. We do this for free.
Okay, so before COVID, because if somebody's watching this, COVID was the last 15 months, but before COVID, you would travel to all these different countries, right?
Yes, I travel to many countries to bring my work. Yes.
And when you're with a group, let's say there was a group of 500 people here, and you've taught big groups like
Yes.
that.
Yes. Yes.
What do you do?
And basically, what my way of communication is, I do not teach any people any concepts or philosophy. I would try to teach them living truth, which they can apply in their daily life to better their life. So I don't teach them philosophy, I teach them practical tools. For example, certain ways of breathing, certain ways of hand gesture, a certain hand movement, certain sounds, which can shift certain thought patterns within you. And when that happens, your emotions are much more balanced and you heal yourself. Other people cannot heal you. Only we can try to bring you to a place of balance within you and you heal yourself.
Exactly. That's what I always say. That's exactly true.
Yeah, so I was guided from the creator Yahweh. He brought many, many, many tools which I present in the workshop, basically. And then I teach how to do this in the workshop. And then people are able to experience it. And because of the experience, people, recommend to other people, the teachers, it grew.
Um, you, in the notes we talked about, okay, is you do the mudras.
Yes, I do mudras.
Can you show one or two, demonstrate one or two?
Yes. Now, all these mudras were also again channeled from different masters. This is one of my favorite one, index finger and the middle finger of both the hands, index finger goes up, middle
But
finger in front
I
of your
can't
heart.
see it. It's these two fingers are
Yeah, so
together.
left hand goes up, left hand goes up, yes.
Okay,
Exactly. Yeah, going up a little bit more, up, yes. And you close your eyes.
wait, I'm trying to
What
get it centered properly. Okay,
I will send you a video of all this. And this mudra is called the Universal Mudra. This will take you into a place of stillness in less than 10 minutes. It equals 5 hours of sitting meditation. Your thoughts will become slowly still. Even if you try to hold a thought, there is no thought. You cannot control, no thoughts. Instant
it's hard. I'm
stillness.
trying to center it on the monitor,
Yes,
but okay, so
yes,
basically this
yes,
is what it is.
yes, exactly, yes,
And they align.
yes.
And what
Because
it seems to me is happening is the energies are moving through the left and
yes.
out.
And my understanding is, Sister Ellie, is it's very, very difficult to change just by thinking. But if we can change in the body, and our mind is in the body, immediately there can be a shift in the mind. And this is why if you look at Master Buddha, almost all the teachings he's doing only through hand gestures, mudras. He spoke very little, but every picture you will see him doing mudras.
If people go to your website, and I will post the website, will they see the hand gestures?
Yeah, there are many ways they can see many of my works.
And how long do you hold the hand gesture?
There is no time, but maximum 10 minutes.
Okay. This to me would be, I guess, I don't know if I could do this for 10 minutes, maybe because I'm sitting, the way I
No,
am.
you can sit down, stand, lie in the bed, anytime is okay.
Okay. And what's another thing? What is this one that I've always seen? I'm trying to get my hands on it like this. When people meditate, they do this.
No, this is a traditional way of doing, but I do not do that. But I explained to them what happens is in our hands, all the fingers of our hands, there is tremendous life force, tremendous life force. And each part of the finger, there is an energy.
Okay.
So, yes. And a man, Manly Hall,
Oh, I
in
remember.
1940, he
Yeah.
talked about this and he talked about the saints of the hands. But in my case, it's not about saints. It is about a different energy of different frequencies exist within our palms. So when we open the energy within our palms, any simple movements you do, immediately it can bring an alignment within you.
When I learned Reiki and I learned the different, different
Yes,
modalities, yeah, the fingers are supposed to be together. The energy comes from the palm. And when I taught it, I tell people, like, you could put your hands together like this and you
yes,
pull it out more and
yes,
more,
exactly. Yes.
and you feel the energy coming from your own hands to as far out as you can go. With some people, they can only go this far and it
No, you
dissipates.
can go. I,
Others,
te- I tell people, no, if you simply open your palm and simply blow 3 times, slowly, just blow, you will feel some energy in your palms.
yeah.
And exactly, you will feel like a warm, tingling, something will, yes.
And you know what? What I'm feeling is not just the energy from doing this. It's like going all the way up and into my spine and into my head. It's very
There is a
cool.
there is a DNA here shaped like a double star. Your thumb represents the energy of the creator. Underneath the thumb, the second part of the thumb represents the feminine mother energy. Your
On your
index,
dominant, wait, is that your dominant hand or your non-dominant
your
hand?
dominant hand,
Okay, here we go.
the creator energy, and the bottom part of the finger, thumb, yes, it's a kina.
Shekinah energy.
Yes,
That's the feminine energy.
yes, and the index finger, just the index finger on the top, Archangel Michael. So you can
Okay,
just point your finger, yes, and you can send beam energy to 500 people same time, and they
really?
will feel it.
My
Yes,
whole neighborhood is going to feel good now.
they can feel energy all over. Yes, so each part of the finger carry different frequencies. Lady Kuan Yin on the pinky finger.
Yeah,
Yes,
communication finger.
yes, Archangel Gabriel and the
Oh,
dragon.
I see what you're doing. You're taking each finger and you're associating it with another master or teacher or archangel or
There is ace, ace exactly, and there is also energy underneath the nails. It's called etheric crystals. Yes, that means every human being has healing energy within their hands. Every human being.
absolutely. That's what I teach them.
They just need to awaken and trust that they have it.
It's just practice, that's all. Sometimes
Exactly.
people think you have to be something special or study for
No,
many years.
no,
I
no,
would
no.
teach them in my class, here's the energy, feel it, send it, do whatever you want to do with it. Anyone can do it.
Exactly. So what I try to do is many times most of the teachings are heavy thing. No, you have to make it simple and fun for people to practice it.
Yeah, that's
Why
me.
we have to be so serious about God? We can have fun and learn and still experience that oneness within ourselves.
It's yeah, it depends on your definition of God, but I don't want to go
And
there.
I would say God for me is your own divine presence within yourself. That's it.
It's something, maybe it's that energy that connects everybody together.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
I learned healing techniques, basically the basic ones, Reiki and a few others, way back in the 1990s. And I never felt comfortable doing it because that's not what I'm here to do. It's not what I'm here to teach. But I did teach it. I became a Reiki master. I did teach it, but I never felt comfortable with it. I don't know why. I prefer to be a teacher than a healer.
Now, actually, Everything is evolving. So I just channeled 2 weeks, 2 months back. I did a workshop on June the 5th and 6th. It's called the next level of Reiki, called Cosmic Reiki.
Cosmic?
Reiki.
Yeah.
Now, if you know about Reiki, it's given by Master Sanat Kumara to the Japanese man Usui. And there is a mountain called Mount Kurama.
I
Where
remember studying this.
I went to the mountain on April the
Oh,
4th and 5th. I've been, yes, it's one of my most favorite place. And I was there, I meditated there, and then I was given the information on Cosmic Reiki. I just finished the workshop on June 5th and 6th. So I will send you one thing, Ellie. I'll
yes.
send you some new coding which you can draw on your hands, okay?
Okay.
And then you don't do anything with the hand, just leave it for 20 minutes. You'll feel your hand is burning with energy.
When I taught Reiki, I'm going back, maybe I learned it in 1995, became a master, and then around up until 2000. And then I said, this is not my path. You just know when something's right. And I work with Zoroaster, who is Z, okay? And what he did was he showed me symbols. So
Nice.
my students that I were making into Reiki masters, and you go around, you put the symbols in the hand, I
Yes.
would walk around from student to student to student. They'd have their hands closed on their knees, and I'd go from student to student, and I would encode Z symbol into their palms. And what a difference it made. They
Exactly.
were like, wow, it really made a big difference.
We did the same thing through Zoom. We had around 47 students. We were charging around $700. We had around 47 students. I will send you some of the Reiki symbol cosmic. You can draw it out with any oil in your palms and the fingers, and don't do anything. You will feel so much power within your hands.
I did it with Z and I felt him come in. Actually, one of the students at my workshop totally saw him standing behind me, which is very cool. And he was putting the symbol, like let's say I was putting the symbol in your hand, I was drawing the symbol into your palm. And this male student in my class opened his eyes for a minute and he said, I saw Z standing behind you, pushing the energy through. So it was like you say, you gotta connect where you're meant to connect. You've got to do it with something that's fun and that's light that people can relate to. It has to be relatable. But what these things are to me, all the wonderful work you do and all the hundreds, thousands of people who are touched by your teachings, and your 11 books and everything else that you show the world, is that we are moving forward, no matter how you do it.
Exactly.
People
Exactly.
who are listening to us now are saying, well, I don't know, I don't have a Z. I don't connect to masters like you do. I can't do this. So it's not your path. You do something else.
Exactly.
You follow what's given, you follow your heart. you
Exactly.
know Everybody has a different journey. And you know what I always tell my students is that you have different parts of your journey at different times of your life. And I don't mean you working as an accountant or in advertising. I don't mean that. We'll set that on the side. Okay. But once you get into what I just call metaphysics, that's it. It's a metaphysical experience. Once you get into that, you shouldn't just stay with one thing and one teacher. This is what I believe. You
Exactly.
go to all the wonderful people
Exactly.
who are out there because they're all going to bring another piece.
Exactly. It's like there's a puzzle. So I said the same thing. Even I don't have any personal students because I don't want them to get attached to me. I teach, but I just move away. So I don't follow, I don't do anything because I do not want them to attach to me. I want them to experience all aspects because there is so much truth available. Connect the dot. Only then you can have a good spiritual base.
You see, so you're doing what I did. I started off learning all the teaching techniques and I did do them in workshops and whatever. And even though that's not where I found I belong, we became teachers. I'm a teacher. You're a teacher to so many people. I'm out there on crystallings in the internet and you're out there in the world traveling and meeting people more directly, which is wonderful. I think it's just an amazing journey. And if you come to New York, I would love to meet you. And, maybe we could get some people together and do, once COVID or whatever is going to happen post-COVID now, we have to see, because they keep talking about the variants, but when it's safe, let's put it that way, you come to New York and maybe we can set up something somewhere
Sure,
and we can do something together. It'll be so much fun.
definitely. But also, I would like to offer to your viewers one day, I would like to present a simple webinar free for your readers. I
Oh,
would
that would be
present some
wonderful.
tools and techniques, and you can practice maybe using certain tools. For example,
Exactly.
one of the tools which I did workshop recently, we had huge number of people, is how we can use our names to raise our frequency, because your name is chosen by you, which has contains all the karmic energy and the life lessons, and how we can use our name to raise our frequency. It was fabulous. So simple things, we can teach them how there are certain breathing techniques or certain sound frequencies and certain mudras, and I would like to offer free to all your viewers.
I would be happy to post it. Once you have it, just send it and I'll post it. About the names, this is interesting. People always say, is your real name Crystal? Yes, I was born as Eleanor Crystal. Eleanor was someone I was when I was in school. The teacher would say, Eleanor, let's see your homework. It was very okay, but it was never really me. Very early on, I became Ellie. And then when I got into metaphysics, some people would look at me and say, you're Elle, you're a god. And I'm like, I'm not a god. I'm Ellie from the block. That's all I am. I'm from Brooklyn. I am not a god. I am not a guru. I don't want to do any of that. Just plain old Ellie from the block. I never identify. Crystal is my name. Whether, it was a synchronicity that I happen to have the name Crystal, because most people think Ellie is real and Crystal is not. Ellie's a nickname, and that's who I am, and that's what I vibrate to. I don't like to say L. Some people have called me Chris. I don't like to go by Chris. I'm not Chris. I'm Ellie. I'm very down to earth person like you, who has been given a mission and told, this is what you're going to do. This is it. I wake up every day to write a blog or do a YouTube, and Z comes every day and he tells me, all right, this is what we're going to do. He'll send me to places. He sent me to a place where it looks like I was taken up by a UFO recently. It's like, I go, if it's fun, I do it. If it's like, I don't have, thank God, I'm not a wounded soul. I don't have wounds from childhood. I don't have the dramas and the abuse that people have to get rid of, because people, when it comes to healing, you always have to go back to childhood, which I consider the first 20 years of your life. That's when the abuses are encoded. They're not encoded, they're programmed in your DNA. Unfortunately, the people who raise people, children, are generally not emotionally or physically or psychologically equipped to take care of children, So these children become scarred. Some of them just run away from homes. They do crazy stuff, especially in today's world. Now we get into the next 20-year cycle, 20 to 40. 20 to 40 is when you say, I have to work on myself, I have to heal myself. One of my parents abused me, hit me, or God forbid, worse, sexually touched me, or worse, or he never understood me, never wanted me, all this. I'm a therapist. That's what I do also. And it's like you go on and on and on. I believe this is what's programmed into somebody's DNA. If you're lucky, you can see some therapists, you can do whatever healing techniques you want, and it's gone. But if not, you can be stuck in that pattern of, I am trying to heal myself, no matter how you do it, crystals and hands and meditations and all of that. You can be stuck in that pattern for all of your life and not get past it. And I have people coming here who are telling me, oh my God, this happened to me. And they're 55 years old. And I'm like, that's the second Saturn return anyway, 56. And I'm like, well, I can't snap my fingers and make it go away. I can do, I don't know, whatever. I deal with the emotions verbally. I'm a verbal person. I'm not, I can't, I don't want to merge my energies with others. I just don't. I'm too old to do it anyway. I really feel I'm too old, but it's not, doesn't feel comfortable to me. Because when I merge, you're not merging with others either, but when you merge your energies, no matter what technique you've been taught, when you merge your energies with other people, okay, I'm the one with the white paint giving, okay? You are the one who maybe has a broken arm or emotional problems. You're taking, but the energies are exchanging. And one of my disappointments in the healing realms is people tell you, oh no, it's not exchanging. You're just putting your good energy into the person with the broken arm and they're going to be, it's not true. It's such a fallacy. It turned me off to healing. I really did. It's like, no. And so that sort of was like the end of the whole healing learning experience for me. You also, I know you've moved from direct one-on-one healing into teaching.
I don't do any direct healing at all.
No, it's teaching people. I'm very pragmatic, okay? I'm from New York, I'm Jewish, I'm from Brooklyn. We're very pragmatic people here. And what it is what it is. And I teach, I teach in my own way. I don't say anybody's techniques or philosophies are wrong. I just teach my way and I explain things in my way. My take on, I've said it before, my take on meditation is to balance and calm the mind, just like you said, with the fingers, balance and calm and align. I feel the same about yoga, any healing and energy work, it's balancing. That's what you're doing. You're balancing. So this chatter, the brain doesn't stop. It chatters and chatters. And yeah, like me, talks on and on and on. But seriously, whatever technique you use it's a tool or a band-aid or whatever, just to balance and quiet your mind so you can do other things and live your life.
Exactly.
So now that we've talked about the hand signals, because we might soon run out of time. I don't know, I should have kept the clock, but I think we should close. Is there anything more you want to add? I'm sorry, I should have asked. Anything more you want to teach today?
One simple thing. No matter what healing is given to you or what you do, but one thing is most important is self-love.
That's hard for most people because they've been abused.
So you must include that part as a part of your transformation work. Simply saying that I accept, I honor, I respect myself, and I give myself the love I did not receive today. I give myself back.
Well, for a lot of people that works. So let's hope people who are listening to you will remember those words and will follow them.
Thank you, Ellie.
Now, we said we were going to close with doing sound, talking about sound and turning it into inner space. Okay, you have some music you want to play. And how would you like people to sit or stand or relax now while they're listening?
Hello, dearest viewers. We would like to simply close your eyes. Gently close your eyes and take some deep breaths. I'll give you one simple sound. You can chant this sound silently or loudly. The sound is Amo Palo. AOMO PAOLO. Amo Palo. chant with the feelings. With each chant, it will take you deeper and deeper into yourself. This is a sound to center yourself. The mind will stop its chatter. The second sound you would like to share is called Anhana. Simply focus on the top of your head and chant silently a minimum of 12 times. Anhana. The third sound I would like to present is called Armesh. A-R-M-E-S. Armesh. 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 Now open your left palm and bring it in front of your heart. And your right hand, all fingers are closed except the thumb. And bring your right hand and place it in the middle of the left hand, which is in front of your heart. You can chant any of the sound. Amo Palo or Anhana or Armesh. In a few minutes' time, a settling down of energy in the mind, in the body. Thank you, Ellie.
Oh, it's been my pleasure. This has been wonderful. What I saw was a beautiful white light at the end. Now I saw this beautiful white light, and then it just kind of became more lavender purple, maybe similar to this color over here. And maybe that represents the white light. I just thought of it, but it was just wonderful. It just kind of encapsulated me, and it felt amazing. And I thank you.
Thank
My
you.
readers thank you. My viewers thank you. And perhaps one day we will do something again.
Yes. And I would like to ask you one thing. I believe that your website has wonderful information. So if you feel like sharing some of the materials for our digital platform, we will, of course, you'll say your name. This is from Ellie. This is their website. I think that your materials can benefit many people in this part of the world. So if you feel that you would like to share any of the old article, it is fine. My favorite one is about the Egyptian Mystery School. and the initiation so beautifully presented in your website. I love that part.
Which part?
The Egyptian mystery school teachings.
You
And
know, you're the second person who told me that. I read another woman in San Diego within the week. I don't remember which day it was, but she said the same thing, and she wanted to take some of those initiations and some of the work I have with Thoth, like the 12 pyramids of
yes,
Thoth, and
yes, yes.
she wants to put it onto some kind of an interactive platform, but I don't know anyone who does that. I told her to look, you know, she's in LA, but I don't know. And she feels it would benefit people if they had this interactive platform.
Yes. And I used to come to, I did the initiation as per your website information. It was fabulous for me. And when I was reading it, I was experiencing it. It's not just reading the words. I was able to experience the energy behind, and I was really able to feel the initiation happening. It was absolutely beautiful, I would say.
I like initiations better than meditations. I used to do all these guided meditations where you just walk into a pool of water. And I just, that's my thing, I guess, more than the meditation thing is these guided
Initiation.
meditations, initiations, because maybe it takes me back to an Egyptian lifetime. Maybe it takes me back to, I don't know where it takes me back to, but it always feels right.
Yes.
And you know, all this breathing that you and I just did, because I haven't done that kind of breathing for a long time with the chanting connected, it showed me that my lungs are as good as ever. I mean, I held that breath and I let it out so slow, and I was like, oh, you go, girl.
I also want to tell you one final thing. This coming Sunday, July the 4th, I know it's Independence Day in America. I'm going to have the second part of sound healing webinar, and I will send you the information and the Zoom link, and your viewers are more than welcome to join for free. Only little problem is my Zoom is only 500 people, this one. And last time we had almost 300 people from this part. So they may want to come in a little bit earlier. I'm going to present sound healing, different sound for different emotions and things. Plus my friend also will present some sound. So we are going to be 2 hours, but it'll be a little bit earlier time in New York, USA time will be 7 a.m. in the morning.
Some people get up early.
Yeah,
You
so I
just
will send
mentioned
you
a
the
word that
yeah.
I forgot to ask you. I said at the beginning, one last thing. What is Shaktipat?
Shaktipat is simply transmission of energy where without touching, we can transmit energy into third eye or into any part of the body, even long distance, even up to 500 people. So why I do Shaktipat energy is it can accelerate our progress.
Our what?
Our progress as a human being.
Oh, our
We have
progress, our evolution, right?
evolution, because what I understood and what is my understanding is, and my guidance inside is, we are now Homo sapiens. Okay, but our evolution did not start as Homo sapiens. We were different: Neanderthal man, Peking man, Pro-Cogno man, and different types of man. But it took many thousands of years to come to Homo sapien. But is this the end of our evolution? No. Our end of our evolution is becoming Omega man, which is the energy of
That's
like
Omega, O-M-E.
Omega, O-M-E-G,
Alpha,
Omega.
beginning, Omega means zero. Omega.
Exactly. And we are coming to Omega consciousness. So Shaktipat,
I have to stop you now because I think we've run over the time. The
okay,
Zoom call says we're still recording, but YouTube only gives us an hour. So we best close now
okay.
until another time, another session.
And
And I thank you so much. This has been amazing.
thank you, Ellie.
We'll talk again.
Great. I just want to take a look, just look at it if you can see. Can you see some orbs here?
I see the picture behind you.
No, there are so many ops. I'll send it to you by email, okay?
Okay,
Yeah,
all
we are
right.
all-
Thanks,
Great. Thank you very much,
everybody.
Ellie. We love you very much.
Okay, let me stop this.